Okay, so my hair doesn't have anything in it, any product at all in it. So what I'm gonna do to start off is I use a rat tail comb just to get my part where I want it. And I'm gonna do a middle part today. And I kind of do it pretty long, I guess. If you get knots, just be careful that you're not ripping your hair out. Be gentle with it. Okay, so that's how I do my part, and then from there I take it and I section it in 4 sections. So the first section is in the front, and then I'll twist that and I put a clip on it. And this is just so I can make it more manageable, because it's kind of hard to have all of my hair out. I have really thick hair, and it's hard to braid when all of it's out. And it helps me when I section it out to distribute the product evenly and make sure it gets on all of my strands. So this is the section that I have out right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spritz it with water just to get the ends pretty damp again. And then I take about that much Kinky Curly leave-in and I just rub it in my hair just to make sure I have the leave-in conditioner everywhere. Smooth that in, and then from here I'm going to part it again in the middle horizontally, and then I'm going to put this piece up with a clip. So from here I do about 16 to about 24 different braids in my hair. So I'm gonna section this piece and do another clip, and then I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna start brushing my hair out and smoothing it. And it's just, when you put the Kinky Curly leave-in, it makes it easier to comb out your hair, and then you'll see I start getting more definition in my curls whenever I'm combing it out. And then from there, I take the curl smoothing by Shea Moisture, and I just put enough in there so that my hair can be moisturized. And it's different for everybody's hair. I have really thick hair, so sometimes I have to go over it twice. But I just start from the bottom at the ends, and then I work my way up. And you don't want it to weigh your hair down. You want to make sure you're using as little as possible. And with that product, it goes a really long way. I've had that same one for about 6 months now, and I'm still not done with it. So after I put the smoothie in, then I take a little bit of the curling custard by Kinky Curly, and then this one is kind of like a hold, but it's a light hold. So I just put that on my ends and throw my hair, and then you'll see that it'll start clumping together. And then from there, just take my hair into 3 separate strands, and I'll start braiding it. And try not to be too tight at the top, because if you do it too tight, it'll pull on your scalp and it'll hurt. So just do it tight enough to where you'll get the definition you want from the braid, but that is not pulling your hair out and causing breakage. And I just braid it all the way down to the bottom. Sometimes you'll have to comb it out again and keep going. And my hair is layered a little bit, so it gets to a point where you can't braid it anymore, and I just take it and take the short pieces and I start to twist it. And I put a little bit of the curling custard gel on it. And then you just twist it around your finger so that it'll hold and it'll do a little curl at the end. And then you can move on. Dries out really fast, so if you do need to put a little bit of water in it extra, just go ahead and do that, because if you try to start combing your hair when it's dry, it might break your hair out. So it's okay. You just don't want it to be too wet while you go to sleep, because it'll take forever to dry. So just as long as your hair stays damp throughout. So again, I'm just applying the curling smoothie all the way through my hair, just to make sure it's coated. And then I'm doing the curling custard, which is like the gel, which is the light hold, all the way up through my hair. And you can see at the ends how it starts to clump together. Take it into 3 sections and then braid. 18 braids in my hair. I try whenever I get to the front to do them as symmetrical as possible, because it's gonna affect how it comes out. Like one side might be up higher than the other, so just remember to do that whenever you're doing your braids. But this is pretty much all I do. And then in the front, I take a toothbrush. And then right now I'm using As I Am smoothing gel, and I just apply that to the front and smooth down my edges so that they can be sleek tomorrow or not in the way. And if you want, you can apply a little bit to the top where you have those loose flyaways, but I never really do that because it normally is hidden whenever my hair is dry. So that's basically all you do. And then at night, you should be able to sleep at night and then it's dry in the morning, but you want to make sure that you're either sleeping on a silk pillow or with a silk bonnet. So I just end up putting this on and tuck my ends in, and I'll go to sleep like that. Okay, so it's the next day and my braids are pretty much dry. They're a little damp still, but it really doesn't matter if it's still damp, because it'll still hold the style just as long as it's not soaking wet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start taking them out. I forgot to bring with me my olive oil or macadamia oil, so I'm gonna use this Organics coconut milk serum. It's gonna act as an oil. I don't even think it's supposed to be an oil, but normally what I use it for is whenever I put it on my straight hair, just to keep the shine on there. But it's an anti-breakage serum, so I'm gonna take about a dime-sized piece and make sure that my hands are coated, both of my hands. And this just makes sure that you don't have that much frizz. And you wanna just make sure that you're taking them out as carefully as possible, trying to limit the amount of frizz. I just leave it like that and I take the rest out. I don't start separating them until I'm finished with taking all the braids out. So now you can see how defined my curls are with the braids. Okay, so all the braids are out of my hair now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get another little bit of this coconut milk, and I'm just gonna go through the top of my hair and through all of it. And I'm gonna start breaking it apart. And I don't really try to break it apart. I just kind of feel where it's at, and I just let it break naturally where it is. And that reduces the amount of frizz that you have. So do that all the way through your hair. And I start on the bottom just because that's normally the part that's clumped up the most together because of the part. And you can normally just feel the big pieces that feel like they need to be separated. You can just slide down the hair and it'll break off where it's supposed to. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's still gonna be kind of flat because it's the first day. First day hair on me normally is flat. Doesn't get bigger until the second day. But you'll see that once you start separating it, it'll get bigger than what it was. And normally well, this side is already separated for the most part. You can see that it's bigger than the other side. So just keep doing that until it's where you want it. And if you get some pieces that are kind of frizzy, you could just twirl them around your finger the way the curl goes, and they normally will go back how they were. If not, you can take a little bit of water and just curl it up, and will twirl around your finger and it'll curl up. Okay, so from there, once I've separated all the pieces, I normally take a pick and tease my roots so that it can get bigger, but I forgot my pick also. So what I'm gonna do is just take my fingers and make sure that the lines that I made when I was parting it for the braids, kind of hide those with the raking. So you just wanna get rid of those lines. You could shake. It'll normally fall where you want it. And I'm just gonna use like a big wide tooth comb as my pick since I don't have my pick. But you can see once I start teasing my roots that it gets bigger. And you could do it to the ends too. You basically just play with it until it's in the shape that you want it. That's it for the styling. But if you wanted to lay down your edges more, mine are pretty okay from last night when I laid them down, so I don't really need to. But you can just kind of go back over them with that brush and your smoothing gel or whatever gel you use to do that, and it should be good. And in order to preserve the style overnight, you can use just a loose hair tie, and you can pull all your hair up to the front. And this is a pineapple. A lot of people ask me what a pineapple is, but you just take it and then just tie it up to the front. But whenever you're done at night, just put the bonnet on or sleep on a silk pillow, and then whenever you wake up in the morning, you just take it down and you can shake it and just tease it like you did the night before. And sometimes you can just spritz it with the water and it'll go back to how it was. And this style normally lasts me a week or so. If I'm exercising a lot during the week, then I might have to redo it midweek, but if not, then it'll last about a week. So that's it.